my channel. I'm Stefan for 868 Tech TV. So I've had the Pixel 6 for the last couple weeks and I've been using it as my main device. Now living here in Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean, Google hasn't exactly made it easy for us to get the devices or utilize the services outside of the territories where Google services is naturally available. So much so that Google even gifted me a Stadia Premier package and took it back because I was not living in the US, even though I have a US address which allows me to get devices like the Pixel 6 and much more to review. I mean, it is the 21st century and it's a global village. Google should understand that by now. Everything is and should be accessible no matter what part of the world you're living in. But enough about my ranting for now. I was still excited to get this device, to use it because of all the hype that's been surrounding it since its launch. But I'll try to keep my review based on my thoughts and my interactions with the device and based on what everyone else is saying. So here we go. I'm Stefan for 868 Tech TV and this is my review of the Google Pixel 6 3 months later. So 2 years after they released their last real flagship phone, the Pixel 4 and 4 XL, Google unveiled a stunning new design. How fitting it was that the same year we lost the visor masters Daft Punk, Google gave us a device with a visor we all couldn't wait to pick up, hold, and use with this unique design. The phone feels sturdy and it does have some heft to it. It is IP68 fully certified, so no need to worry if you're out and you get a little bit of rain or maybe some splash. There's Gorilla Glass Victus on the front and Gorilla Glass 6 on the back, so it is well protected and it feels that way. It feels premium, and premium is good. I've heard that the screen is prone to scratches and gashes even more than the back of the phone, and while I personally haven't had the misfortune of suffering that fate, if you are planning to get a Pixel 6 or 6 Pro, I would suggest you invest in a screen protector and the case. Of course, the most eye-catching physical aspect of the phone is the camera visor, which houses 2 cameras, 3 if you're rocking the Pro, LiDAR scanner and flash. I'm not one to usually use cases on phones, but with this camera visor resting directly on your table or wherever you rest your phone on while at work or at home, your phone would be prone to dust collecting at the base and even the top of that visor, so I suggest you protect your investment. The phone does feel good in your hand though, and while it probably is big for the average user, for me it's perfect, at least the Pixel 6, which when compared to my Pixel 3 XL is only slightly larger, so it wasn't a huge step up in size, and it was only slightly wide as well. There's a couple mics, your SIM tray, the button firing speaker grill, USB Type-C port, and your volume rocker and power button. One topic of discussion has been the placement of the power button, and even the volume rocker, which is a bit high up on the phone than most persons would like. This is something Google can look into when designing their next Pixel device. The 6.4-inch 1080p Full HD screen is better than previous Pixels, that much is true. It is brighter and the hole punch is perfect at the center of the screen where it belongs. You can fight me on that one. The 90Hz refresh rate makes an already smooth experience even smoother, and viewing angles are excellent. After all, it is an AMOLED screen. My biggest gripes are with the lack of customization with regards to the actual color of the screen. There's literally 2 options. My second gripe is with the actual screen brightness. While it does get brighter than some devices, I think that the screen has the potential to be significantly brighter, especially for locations where the sun almost seems brighter than the rest of the world, like where I live here in the Caribbean, or for persons like myself who are visually impaired and need to wear sunglasses outdoors all the time. A brighter screen would be appreciated, so maybe bump it up to 1000 plus nits brightness next time around. There are other visual comforts that make using the phone indoors quite pleasing to the eyes. Extra dim is also a plus, especially if you're watching content or doing some extra reading late at night in bed, as I often tend to do. The Pixel 6 is Android at its smoothest and the only one true stock Android experience. One of the perks of getting the Pixel 6 is the joy of getting the absolute latest and most of the best of what Android has to offer, as well as up-to-the-minute updates the moment Google releases them. That being said, while reviewing this device, Google has had some issues rolling out the December and even the January updates for the Pixel 6 lineup and has come under some fire. The Pixel 6 was of course the first device to be running Android 12 out of the box. Android 12 is one of the best updates I've seen in an OS, and on the Google Pixel 6 device, it comes with some extra punch and flavor with a new design for your Android toggles. Now I won't go into every toggle and setting, but let's just see there is hardly, if anything at all, that's missing. Material U gives you the ability to customize your Pixel device in more ways than it's ever been possible. You can change the color of your toggles, apps, and other UI and system-wide apps with just one tap based on your current wallpaper. Every wallpaper gives you a different set of color palettes to choose from. This to me is one of the better upgrades that Android 12 brings with it, and it's quite aesthetically pleasing. There's also an array of new widgets, some of which are exclusive to Pixel devices only, such as the new weather widget and the clock, although you can't get the clock on another device if you just download or use Google's stock clock app. Now, there are a few Pixel 6 only software features made possible by the Google Tensor chip that can definitely convince you to get a Pixel 6 over another Android phone. With Google launching its own Tensor chip, they've really enhanced the text-to-speech capabilities. The text-to-speech is as close to perfection as it's ever been. This is the Google Pixel 6, just released from one of the biggest phone makers in the world. And I can only see getting better as Google improves on their own chip capabilities. With Google literally built into the phone, there's a host of other features that could be performed by the phone without the need for an internet connection or mobile data, which is just amazing. Straight out of the box, you get a USB Type-C to Type-C cable and no charging block. So charging the Pixel 6 is fast, but not super fast. The 4614 mAh battery will go from 0 to 100 in just over an hour, which isn't too bad, but let's be honest, it's not groundbreaking. Battery life, however, is decent. I was worried after seeing some reviews, but in my day-to-day usage, it can get you through most of the day, though you would definitely have to top it up by around the 4 p.m. time if you take it off the charger, let's say around 6:30 a.m. in the morning. If you're a light to moderate user, you might get some more juice out of it, but just be sure to keep your charger handy, just in case. Android 12 also features some new battery usage data as well as better battery management to protect the overall health of your battery in the long term. The phone of course features 21-watt wireless charging, which you can only receive those speeds with Google's very own wireless charger, and it does feature reverse wireless charging as well. With Google's Tensor chip and 8GB of RAM, this device flies through your day-to-day tasks. You won't miss a beat scrolling through your social media, replying to messages, multitasking, streaming, or even gaming. The 90Hz refresh rate, while not top tier, as in 120Hz and above, still makes the entire OS and phone experience even smoother. While I didn't see any lag in my day-to-day usage, I did notice some delays when opening apps after a while, but maybe with an update or two, that will sort itself out. Where I was disappointed was in the gaming department. Well, more specifically, the thermal management or the lack thereof during gameplay. First of all, kudos to Google for finally introducing a gaming mode to its Pixel devices running Android 12, something that most other Android phone makers have been doing for ages, but better late than never, right? Now, Google's Tensor chip is quite powerful and is able to handle most if not all high demanding games without a hitch. However, the issue is the phone does get considerably hot while gaming, and I'm not talking about an hour-long gaming session, just a few minutes into the game and I had to shut it down. I hope this is something that Google can fix before the next Pixel is released. Otherwise, you would have no issues doing your regular daily activities, and this phone seems to handle just about anything you throw at it. Android 12 has brought with it some improved security features, like letting you know when an app is using your cameras or microphone, and you can allow or restrict access to when you're just using that app, and there are several other security measures you can access to protect your data. There are only two ways you can unlock your phone. This has been a major issue for most. Of course, you can put in your pattern or your PIN, and you can use the on-screen fingerprint sensor, but there is no face unlock. Now, much has been said about the quality of the fingerprint scanner. It is optical and not ultrasonic like most other flagship devices with an under-display fingerprint reader. The optical scanner uses light to detect your fingerprint, and yes, it's a bit slower and you have to ensure that you press your finger a bit harder onto the screen, but I've hardly had any issues with it. One thing that could have made the unlocking experience better is the positioning of the fingerprint scanner itself. It's quite high on the screen, and for an already large device, this could be an issue for most, especially those with smaller hands. Thankfully, that's not me. The Pixel 6 boasts of better mic quality and improved speakers for better sound than previous Pixels. And while in my tests this has been true, it still falls short on both fronts when up against some of the higher end phones. But taking into consideration its price, then it's probably just about right. There are mics on the bottom and top of the device for better directional audio when recording, which works sufficiently well, but maybe not ideal for vlogging outdoors. Even though Google boasts of active noise cancellation, when it is turned on, it does affect the quality of your voice. When compared to my Pixel 3 XL, the Pixel 6 is only slightly louder. While it is fairly well balanced in the bass, mids and highs department, the maximum output is underwhelming and leaves much to be desired. If you're in a fairly quiet space, it'll work fine, but otherwise, I would suggest you get some wireless earbuds or headphones. Besides the actual look of the phone and all new tensor chip, one of the major upgrades on the Pixel 6 was the camera hardware itself. It sports a dual camera setup of the all-new 50 megapixel wide-angle lens and a 12 megapixel ultra-wide, both very capable in most situations and can shoot up to 4K at 60 frames per second. It also has an 8 megapixel selfie camera, which is the same selfie camera used in previous Pixel devices. This tops out at 1080p and good for your WhatsApp video calls, Zoom meetings and your day-to-day TikTok and Snapchats. The camera layout is the usual and familiar Pixel camera interface we've come to know and love, or hate depending on your preference, but with some extra features. There's your usual photos, videos, portrait, night mode and more, featuring your photosphere and other AI tools. There is though an all-new motion mode which features action, pan and long exposure. Those two new modes bring some really interesting fun to your photos while shooting moving or even still objects. Here are some photos and videos I took with the Pixel 6. Feel free to let me know your thoughts on the quality in the comments below. So that's the Pixel 6 in a nutshell. Now, it is one of the best phones that you can find at this price point, which launched at $600 US. It's got a solid camera, good build, great performance, and an all-round solid phone. Now, the Pixel 6 Pro, I haven't gotten my hands on it yet, but when I do, I'm sure to do a review. If you could find a Pixel 6 Pro pre-owned for around the same price as the Pixel 6, I would suggest you go for it. It's got a better camera, better screen, better battery life, and overall better performance. It's been fun. Thank you for watching. Feel free to leave your comments below. Let me know what you thought of the video, and if you have a Pixel 6, what was your experience, or if you're thinking about getting a Pixel 6 device. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Till the next one, I'm Stefan from 360 TV, and I'm out.